Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So XRP Crypto Wolf here, posting this. Ripple partner State Bank of India is joining JPMorgan's blockchain payments network to bring more efficient international payments to users. And, there's been a lot going on in India with regards to blockchain payments. We know back in 2018, Ripple was very confident that they would be able to basically lock in the country of India as a solid client for RippleNet payments. And now we're seeing the State Bank of India, which is a Ripple partner. They are joining with JPMorgan's blockchain payments network to bring more efficient international payments to users. So the public sector bank, India's largest by various metrics, will use JPMorgan's blockchain platform to help accelerate cross-border payments and reduce costs. Dubbed Link, the blockchain network is based on a fork of Ethereum and has already been integrated by around 100 banks. Link was designed to connect banks in a peer-to-peer fashion to help remove inefficiencies from cross-border payments and other functions. So interesting to see this, despite the fact that there has been a lot of controversy surrounding cryptocurrencies in India. Bhargava Madivada says that this is not actually good news for Ripple. It is an advantage, though, for JPM. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Back in 2018, Ripple did say they had a stronghold in India, over 50%, and they were aiming to gain more leverage there. But guys, it just goes to show you how slowly this process goes. This was 3 years ago I'm talking about, and they are still kind of working their way into the new world of blockchain, DLT-based cross-border payment adoption. And speaking of slow, I saw this from Michael at Val5 Links. According to Powell, so Jerome Powell, the digital dollar project is an important issue for the central bank, but it is progressing gradually. Yeah, they're not rushing through this by any means. Speaking before the Senate committee on February 23rd, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that developing a digital dollar for the United States is a high priority, so that's good. In the past, Powell has said that the Fed is considering a digital dollar or central bank digital currency. However, they say they're in no hurry to implement it. Powell has previously said that it is more important to get it right than to be first when it comes to digital currencies. He reiterated in today's hearing that since the U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency, the U.S. does not need to immediately introduce a digital variant. That comes from a very, very privileged stance, I think. If you don't adopt, you are going to be left behind, and the U.S. dollar, as many critics have already suggested, will no longer be uniquely the world's reserve currency, or rather solely the world's reserve currency. There's talks about a digital currency taking that position, and if the U.S. doesn't move, they are going to be left behind. But I do think there are a lot of Wall Street banker types that have politicians in their back pockets, and so this is what's causing maybe a little bit of this uncertainty or lack of willingness to move quicker in this case here. The reason I mention this is because I also saw this tweet here from John Deaton. Below is the theory that Clayton, meaning Jay Clayton, on his way out the door of the SEC, sent a big FU to Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson because he was sick and tired of the reach that Ripple had with important politicians. Ripple got the attention of senators, and so he links a theory surrounding political revenge that he posted on January 9th. Guys, I will link this in the description if you want to read further. I'm just going to summarize what John Deaton thinks here. Congressmen and national security advisors, I've personally been involved with and witnessed how you get the attention of politicians. And he says it is money. Money talks in Washington. According to Cointelegraph, Ripple Labs spent $690,000 on lobbying in the United States in 2020. Ripple's lobbying program dwarfed those of other firms in the crypto industry. So you got to think to yourself, Ripple obviously got deep pockets. If they are lobbying government to change the way things work, the old system, the old Wall Street banking system is not going to be too happy about that because it cuts out a lot of their profits. And so, the politicians that are in bed with the old Wall Street banking model are realizing there's a lot of pressure put on them because they're realizing, on the one hand, we could move into the future. We're being lobbied by companies like Ripple to change the way the system works. And ultimately, this is going to be beneficial for the United States. But we're also in the pockets of these old school bankers. And so how do we make this decision when we're feeling the pressure from both ends? Ultimately, morally, what you should do is do the right thing. Obviously, make sure what you're deciding to do is best for the people. But we know politicians don't always work that way. Nevertheless, I think that this is part of what's going on here. So John Deaton goes on to say, Coinbase, which looks to become the first American crypto exchange to issue public shares, spent $230,000 over the same year, while other exchanges like Binance, Gemini, and Kraken did not report any spending on lobbying. So lobbying power, big to get government's attention. Attack Titan here on Twitter, how's it possible that they, Ripple or Coinbase, spent all those years and time with political insiders and not once anyone stopped and said, hey, we need to get an answer from the SEC to see if we're compliant or not. What am I missing here? I keep going back to this. And so it's an interesting question, and we talked about this just the other day, this idea that, the SEC had 8 years to sue Ripple and they never did it. Why were they being silent for all these years? And I have a feeling that this partially has to do with the old system. Like, this is a very, very complicated thing that we're trying to navigate here. There's an old system that has a history that obviously doesn't want things to change, and they have money. There's a new system who also has money that wants things to change, that are spending dollars on lobbying government. And we know that this new system is going to be good for the overall health of the U.S. economy, yet we have the politicians in the middle making the final decisions on this. So some very astute observations here from John Deaton. Roger down here saying there should be an investigation on Clayton for that. XRP Infinity and Beyond says if that was the case, Clayton would have ended up in a casket. XRP Italy saying, love you, John, and your passion. So gotta thank John Deaton here for posting that. I think ultimately, though, utility with regards to cryptocurrency will supersede everything, and the coins with the most utility are going to be the ones that thrive in this system. Stuart Alderati here says a law requires that persons of ordinary intelligence be given fair notice of what's prohibited. So this just going back to the lawsuit. That's why it's important we learn that sophisticated parties, after engaging with the SEC, concluded that transacting in XRP was not prohibited, but in fact permitted. So again, some of these things just don't add up. Why now, after all these years, is the SEC suing Ripple? Saf Nav down here says, I actually wrote and sent an email to the SEC in July of 2018 and asked for clarity on the issue, and all I got back was a copy-paste standard reply that didn't answer the question. And Jesse Hines down here responding, do you have a copy of the request and reply? It actually may be helpful to Ripple. Dictator Know-It-All mentioning XRP community have consistently asked the SEC on Twitter for several years about the XRP, or rather the status of XRP. Plenty of my tweets to them over the years, never responded to any of us, just flat out ignored us. And so Safnav, yes, if you do have that letter, do send it along to, I'm guessing Jesse Hines might be the best person to send that to, because it could actually lend more evidence to the fact that the SEC just ignored requests for clarity on the topic of XRP. All this stuff is going to be really good for Ripple and XRP because the landscape is changing, despite the fact that these guys want to drag their heels, the landscape is changing. Ripple and their partners continue to move forward. So Ripple partner BBVA and Google Cloud form strategic partnership to drive security innovation in financial services. This coming from the Cryptic Poet here on Twitter. So BBVA and Google Cloud will collaborate to create an artificial intelligence-based platform that detects and prevents possible security threats. And we know this from back in 2017. BBVA completes first real-time international money transfer between Europe and Mexico using RippleNet. So partners of Ripple continuing to move forward, and it's not just cross-border payments. Okay, we're already starting to see Ripple move in more verticals, but the cross-border payments, guys, that's going to be central. And although this isn't specific to Ripple, I think this speaks volumes. This is Jeremy Allaire, okay, talking at a conference a year ago or two, talking about cross-border payments, and this seminar was payments going to zero. Basically, the idea that paying for the service of sending money is going to become obsolete just because of the new technologies that exist today, and Circle is one of them. Ripple and XRP, of course, a biggie in the space. But listen to what Jeremy Allaire has to say when questioned on this panel. We've got Christine Lagarde here as well, just to give you guys some context.
0.2 cent of a euro for any transaction?
Yeah, I mean, our thesis is that when you move fiat money onto public blockchain networks that have real scalability characteristics, that effectively payments will go to zero. That there will be no business model for payments. There'll be no consumer will ever pay for anything with payments. Merchants will not pay for payments. B2B transactions, international transactions, it will go to zero, just like sharing information on the internet and data is zero, sharing emails zero. It's effectively just
but the
sharing
ECB
costs.
is on its way to zero.
I think that's a good improvement, but I think zero is better.
I think zero is better. It's a good improvement, but I think zero is better. And so That's the idea, right? There are so many other services in the world right now, like even think about long distance calls. I don't even know why people pay for long distance calls anymore when you have all this technology where you can do it over the internet, where you can, FaceTime somebody in a different country or Zoom call them or Skype them or whatever. The technology exists where you do not have to pay for long distance calls. And so Jeremy Allaire is also saying that, payments are going to zero the same way that a lot of other things, sending emails, you don't have to pay for that, and many other things, it's just going to go to zero, and companies like Ripple and XRP are going to help that idea become reality. I also saw this from KIMDOTCOM just today. Utilization will crown the crypto kings. Now, for a little bit of history, if you guys don't know KIMDOTCOM, he made a fortune off Bitcoin, which is one of the things he did. That's why I support crypto with the highest chance of mass utilization. So here, he's saying that the utilization in cryptocurrency is going to be the thing that separates the winners from the losers. You won't achieve mass with high fees, slow transactions, custodial layers, and catering to the 1%. Remind yourself to revisit this tweet in 10 years, and you'll see straight up XRP down here saying bought more XRP after reading your tweet. Thanks for the advice. And he's not talking about XRP specifically, but we've heard this notion of utilization in the past. And I'm glad that, even guys like KIM.com, who made millions of dollars off Bitcoin, is straight up enough to say that, utilization in the future is going to be what gives cryptocurrency value. And, he's not the only one we've heard it from. I think that someone by the name of Brad Garlinghouse has also mentioned this, the fact that 99% of all cryptos will go to zero. This is from back in 2019. And if you guys missed this clip, let me just play you this real quick.
Brad, tell me here then, where does this go? Let's have a look at just effectively what we have. We've got so many cryptocurrencies out there. You're one of the front runners, but the thing is, are there too many of you guys?
Actually, I agree with you. I think there are too many. There are around 3,000 different digital assets that trade on a daily basis now. I think, anytime there's a new market, there's a lot of people that run into that market and try to show that they can solve a problem, they can deliver a customer need. I have said publicly before that I think 99% of all crypto probably goes to zero. But there is that 1% where I think that is focused on solving a real problem for real customers and is able to do that at scale. And that's going to be game changing. And I think that's going to continue to grow significantly in the decades ahead.
Real cryptocurrencies solving real problems. That's what's going to be game changing. That's what's going to change the landscape in the decades ahead. This coming straight from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, and now KIM.com also suggesting this on Twitter as of today. And the CEO of Circle, Jeremy Allaire, also mentioning this with this idea that payments will just go to zero. So if you guys were ever cloudy on the future of cross-border payments, you probably shouldn't be anymore. Right now, it's just navigating the lawsuit and the politics, literally the politics of what's going on in the United States with the old system, the new system, and how that's all going to shake out. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And guys, I'm giving away 2 Ledger Nanos, a Ledger S and a Ledger X, but we have to reach 70,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, subscribe now. And like the video if you like the content I'm providing. It's a free way to support the channel, so, give a thumbs up. I always love hearing what you guys have to say. See you in the next one, guys.